Hi, how you doing? So welcome to this week's One Image My Edit, and in this week's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a really dramatic edit to your images. And I've used this based on a picture of a lion, and the reason why is because I wanted to really bring out the eyes. I wanted to bring out that beautiful stare that they have, and I wanted to also just challenge some of the colors that are in a lion. So if you're again a naturalist, if you prefer your images to have more of a natural look to them, then this is going off from that. So this is stepping into the fine art kind of realm of editing within Lightroom, which is always good to experiment with, because you don't have to use this particular edit on wildlife. You can use it on other things, but this was the basis, the starting point of this particular edit. So I'm going to reset this and walk you through the process. So I'm going to come down to the bottom here and just click on the reset button. There we go. I'm going to press the Y key, and that's going to get rid of everything, bring it back to the starting point. Right, so the first thing I want to do is I just want to bump up this color temperature a little bit, just to about +4, just to bring out that yellow and just bring the tint down to about -2. And that's for this particular image. Yours, you may just want to correct it so it's corrected for your particular image. The exposure, I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. Again, depending on how dark or bright your image is, that's going to be individual for each shot. So the contrast, I'm going to boost this up to around 40, okay, because I like contrasting images, so I'm just going to boost that up. Highlights, I'm going to bring them up to about +10, around there. And the shadows, I'm going to bring them up to +50, so we're going to bring out all that detail in them dark areas. I'm going to bring the whites down to -35, and the same on the blacks there. I'm going to bring them down to not as much, around -30 there. So that gives us a really good starting point. Right, so I'm going to add some texture and clarity to this. So I'm going to boost the texture up to around +60. Really boost that up, just so we can get out some of the detail within the fur and the mane. So +35 on the clarity. And dehaze, I'm going to push this up to +15 as well. And they're quite generic. You can use them as they are, and it will give you a good look. You can see what we're starting to do there. And then the vibrance, I'm going to push that up to +40, because that's going to help us later on with our colors. It's just going to mean that everything is pushed up, and we still maintain some vibrance within them colored areas there. So some of the work can be done within the tone curve, not a lot, but I want to matte off the blacks, so I'm going to push them up. So we're just starting to matte them blacks off, and then I'm going to click on another point and just bring that down, just to darken them back down. And then up here within the grey areas, I'm going to click a point on here, just bring that down ever so slightly, and then a little bit further up I just want to isolate these whites and just bring them up a little bit. So we've got, it's a very steep sort of S curve there that we're going for. And again, you can come back and tweak this and just mess around with it until you get a really nice edit. Okay, so there's a little bit of work to do within there. I'm going to jump over to the blues, and I'm going to just pull these blues in a little bit and just isolate them a little bit there within the blacks, just pushing it up a little bit. And what that's doing is just giving us blues into the whole of the image, rather than having that yellow. And you can see what that's done there. So that's just the tone curve, so you can see what's happening. That matting is really helping us isolate the lioness there. So I'm going to come to the hue, saturation, and luminance, and I'll stick with the hues first. So with the reds, I'm going to go up to +40, orange -10. Yellows, I'm going to bring them quite a lot, so around -80 there. And then the greens, I'm going to take them completely out, Aqua, I'm going to push that up a little bit to plus 50. So there we go. So around there, plus 50. Blues, minus 60. There we go. And purple and magenta, they're going to be, I would say the purple minus 40 is what I'd done earlier. And the magenta as well, minus 30 was, yes, it wasn't as much. Okay, so what we're doing there is just bringing out the warmer colors. You can see we're pushing up the reds and the oranges. So they're more into these, the red's more into the orange spectrum. The orange is just warming it into that red section there, and same with the yellows. So we're kind of warming it up there. Right, so let's move on to the saturation. Just going to bring red down to around minus 10. Orange, minus 20, a little bit more there. Yellows, around minus 50, 52, that looks quite good. Green, minus 100. Aqua, take that out, minus 100. Same with the blue, let's take that out. And purple and magenta, let's go plus 40 on both of them. So let's just push that up. So about that plus 40, there we go. Okay, so let's jump over to the luminance, and all I want to do is just bring out the orange a little bit. So let's just boost that up to around plus 10. Maybe just knock the yellow back a little bit to minus 10 as well. There we go. That looks pretty good. So let's jump over to the color grading now, and let's start with well, we're on the shadows, so let's start with the shadows. So I'm going to do a hue of 194, 195. Let's go 194, and let's do a saturation of around 15. So there we go. That gives us this lovely blue color there, which is quite nice. And then let's jump over to the highlights, and within the hue I'm going to type in 127 and a saturation of about 8 or 9, so that gives us this lovely green tinge. There we go, that looks pretty good. So that's given us a nice color grading. If you look what happens there, you can see what that's done. It's just taken that red out, and it's given us a really nice green sort of hue to the shot. So yeah, it works really well. Now let's go to the balance, and let's push this up to around 45 and see what that does. You can see there it just takes that sting out of that green a little bit. Yeah, you see that? Because there was a little bit of a green hue across there, which was nice, but I think just pushing this up a little bit, this balance, it just takes the sting out of it a little bit. It's not, you won't notice it that much, but it's for the compounding effect of it, it will be noticeable later on. So what we want to do as well is, whenever we're doing anything like this with colors, like I say every week, is just think about noise reduction. So within the luminance, so the brightness, let's push it up to around 20. Let's go a little bit higher than normal. 20, 25 for the color, because of the amount that we're doing and manipulating to this image. We can sharpen the image a little bit as well. Let's just push this up to 25, something like that, 26. That's pretty good, just to make sure we maintain some detail in them areas there. And I think as well with this, a vignette is going to work really, really nice. It's going to help bring that eye in, and also get rid of this this window that was here as well. So let's bring the amount down to 35, 36. That's good. Midpoint, I'm going to bring that down to about 10. There we go. So it's quite a heavy vignette. And then feather, let's bring that to around a 5, something like that. That gives us then a bit of a softer edge to it. So we've still got a heavy vignette, and you can see what that's done there. It's just brought that detail back in, so you can just, your eye is just drawn into them eyes now. And I think that works really, really well. So I'm going to go back up to the top now, and what I'm going to do is actually, where it says profile here, I'm going to come down and click on Browse, and you've got a few different ones to choose from. I mean, the basic one is the one that you have at the top, where you can go from color or black and white, but there is more. If you look in here, there's other black and white, so these are definitely worth looking at, these different profiles, because you can get some really nice effects. And in fact, looking at these here, some of these are quite nice to add on to what we've been doing. So I'm gonna select I think probably one of the artistic ones and go with maybe artistic number 8, and then what I'm going to do is just bring this down to around 30, 31. There we go, just again to take the sting out of that. And I think that, yeah, that works really, really well. So that's helped it along quite a bit. And the other thing that we can do is just target the eye. So I'm going to come up to here, click on the brush, and I'm just going to make the brush smaller. So I'm just doing that by changing the dial on my mouse. You can use the brackets keys as well, and I'm just going to select the eye there. Now we've got to be careful because there's a bit of noise in that eye. Okay, and let's take the overlay off. So let's just boost that noise up there. Let's boost the saturation up. Let's boost the exposure up a little bit. There we go. And let's just bring out some of the highlights and details there. That, I think, looks really good. So I'm going to press enter just to confirm that. And if I come back to the bottom here from the history, and if we look at what that's done there, so you can see, go back a step, you can see it's well worth doing them eyes. You can see that it's just bringing out that color, and it really makes it jump out, and them eyes look a little bit more daunting. So if I now press the Y key, you can see there's the before and after, which has given us this lovely, real, quite an artistic edit. Like I said, it's not natural or true to any colors, but I think this particular style with a blue kind of hue to it looks quite menacing, and it's quite nice. And like I said at the beginning, you can use this for multiple things. The only reason why I've selected a lion is just because I like the stare of the eyes, and I just wanted to bring out them eyes. So hence that's why them colours that are on the fur, they're basically complementing the colour of the eyes there, and yeah, it gives it a really nice artistic edit. So that's how you do it. That's how you create this look. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I look forward to seeing your images, and yeah, post them up in the Facebook group, the DSLR Guru Facebook group. I'd love to see what you're doing with these edits. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.